Good afternoon, friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. I hope you are doing well. As you can see, this morning I added the sulfur to the azalea beds, and I don't usually water it in, but this time I did because we're not going to get any rain for at least 2 weeks. And even though that bed is on irrigation, it's on drip irrigation, and drip irrigation will not water in all of those granules of sulfur. So I did water those in. I'll probably come back and do it again in another couple days just to make sure they start to break down and go into the soil. But I think that might be the last time I treat that bed, because pretty positive this year we are going to get rid of that bed and completely turn it into something very different. There's a couple reasons for that. One, as much as I love the azaleas and the camellias, and they're very pretty, I do enjoy them, but as I've said before, our water and our soil are very alkaline, and our house is stucco, which I didn't realize until recently also makes your soil alkaline. So it's a losing battle there for acid-loving plants. And there is a new wildfire policy that's going into effect this year, where you can't have any plantings within 5 feet of your house. And so a lot of things have to come out, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Most people are fine with that. Those that aren't clearly don't know what it's like to lose a house in a fire. So we want to provide our firefighters with every chance they have at protecting us and our homes and protecting them. So when you have, in this area, when you have lots of big shrubs and things, especially things that have a lot of essential oils in them, like rosemary and stuff, those are highly flammable. Oleander, highly flammable, and toxic. The smoke is toxic. So a lot of the things that people use as decorative, ornamental plantings real close to their house are actually really dangerous in terms of fire. They're super combustible and can hinder firefighters from getting to your house to keep it safe. So anyway, that's an aside. But the point is, those are going to have to come out. I don't know if it's this year, but we're planning on some big changes anyway, because the hedge that is along the fence for the garden is dying in a lot of places. That hedge is probably 20 years old. And, it was here when we moved in. I love that it's a windbreak for the garden, and I love that it provides privacy. But with most of it, like a third of it is dying back, like down to nothing. So we need to pull that out, and we're going to have to put something new in there. I'll have to reconfigure the irrigation, because I think that's part of the reason why the old hedge is dying in places. Anyway, that's going to need to be done. And so we figure we might as well do the walk at the same time. And most likely it's going to end up being xeriscaped, meaning lots of really pretty stones and either a bunch of really cool plants in pots, large pots, or succulents in the ground. So we'll figure that out. That is not a full sun area. So, we're going to have to be pretty picky about what we choose to go there. So that, I think, is all going to be happening this year. So we're in the greenhouse today. I just sowed a bunch of seeds. These are week 2 and 3 seeds because I was behind a week. I'll show you what I sowed. Okay, so it's mostly veggies. We've got a couple kinds of broccoli here: Waltham, Burgundy, the new Solstice, and the Kylon that I talked about yesterday. And then we've got some lettuces. So Castelfranco, Radicchio, Baby Radicchio blend. This is Little Gem, May Queen, and then Mesclun mix, which is just a free seed. Then we planted the pansy mix, Cerinthe, and the ground cherry. Now I still need to sow these. I just haven't put together 6-packs for them yet. This is the Echinacea, the Collarette Dahlia, Anise Hyssop, Johnny Jump Ups, actually beets, and Dyer's Coreopsis. The beets I normally direct sow, but I'm going to put these actually in a 6-pack to then plant out. So what I'm going to do next is I went to the garden center today because I had to get the sulfur, and they were having a sale on trying to get rid of a lot of their terracotta pots. So I got everything for half off, which is amazing because I've been needing some. In the next couple of days, I need to do a major houseplant up pot. There's a number of them that are outgrowing their pots, and so they need to get transplanted. So I got 6 of these. It's a 7-inch pot, and that'll be great for the a lot of the house plants that need to get up potted. And then I got this one to go to stay outside. It's for a lot of the rest of the succulents that I haven't planted yet. So we'll do that garden next. And then I need to bump up some of these seedlings. They're looking amazing. So some of these are getting big, and I want them to continue to get bigger before I put them out in the garden. So I'm gonna pot up into bigger pots out of these 6-packs some of these so that they can grow on. These guys still have time in here. These are mostly sweet peas that are starting to come up. And then this is another tray of things that still have a little bit longer. However, this freesia I might move out because it has kind of a tuberous type root system, and so it might do better in a bigger pot. But some of these still haven't completely germinated, and that's totally fine. They are perennials, and they're going to take some time to germinate. So I'm going to go ahead and get this succulent garden planted up, and then we'll pot up some of the perennials, and then that's probably going to be it for me today. I'm on day 3 of this headache, and it's not horrible, but it is persistent and I just can't shake it. So I'm not as productive as I normally could be, but it's okay. It's January. I keep telling myself that. So, all right, I'm going to get started coming up with a brand new garden. I got some more pebbles and stuff, so it'll be easy to top dress it. And we'll just see what we come up with. I got a lot done, which is good, because I was starting to feel a little behind this morning. So we did this container here. I like it. There's not as much variety as I would like, but that's okay. It's just what I had left over. And I actually really like the gray stones with this pot. Then I pruned back this other pepper that had lots of peppers that I was waiting for them to ripen, and they did. So I took those off. I pruned back the pepper, like this other one. They're getting watered and they're just overwintering in here. We gave this aloe finally a pot. It's been needing one. So that's all potted up. This is all the succulents we have left, not these. These are these are eucalyptus. They're for the farm. I started these from seed last year, but they're very, very slow growing, so we'll get those planted out this year. But anyway, this is all I've got left, and then this like mishmash of stuff that I pulled out. Still need to put some things in here and deal with the spiky one, but that is not happening today. Okay, so then I also up-potted a whole bunch of plants. So we did the calendula, the Oxford blue salvia. It's looking amazing. Let's see, what do we got here? Xeranthemum and the Maximilian sunflower. And then down here, we have all the dianthus, the different varieties. This is Chabot benina. We've got catnip, Chabot picotee double, Chabot jondianus, and the freesia. So there's still a few that I could have potted up, and I probably will next week. This Salvia Victory Blue, that's getting close, but it still has a little bit of time left. And then this is root beer hyssop, and this is Viola, Arkwright Ruby. So these guys can get potted up next week. I have still a few of these little 2.5 inch pots. So normally I use all of those for, or maybe those are 3 inch pots, I don't remember. Anyway, I use all of these usually for the seedling sale to get them started and get them going. And then they go home with the folks in these guys, which are compostable, made of their cow pots. So I get them going in soil blocks and then bump them up because it's summer veggies, summer herbs, and summer flowers. And so I start them. In fact, next week, we're starting all of the tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers and stuff like that. And of course, they can't stay in tiny 6-packs for, the whole time. So they get bumped up and then they get moved over to these. I can't bump them up directly to these because they're going to be in these for a couple of weeks if that happens. And then they start to fall apart because they're compostable. So this is like the day or two before people come pick them up, they move to these. So in our next video, I will go over, well, next time we seed, I'll go over all of the tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers that I'm growing this year. Those are for me and for the folks who get the seedling packs. I do a veggie garden in a box, a flower garden in a box, and then a sunflower collection set. And so people order those every year. What's nice about that is the pre-order, I put the pre-order out and then I know how many to start. In the past, I just started tons, hoping that, well, when I first started out, I've been doing this veggie this garden in a box thing for a couple of years now. It's like the 3rd year, maybe, or the 4th year. Before that, I would just start a ton of vegetables and stuff, and then if I sold them, I sold them. If I didn't, I didn't. And that's a waste. That's a waste of resources. And there's only so many I can fit in my personal garden. So it's really nice to get this pre-order thing going because then I know how many customers are coming. I'll always start a few extra just in case something dies or, whatever. Then I have them. But it's nice to have a pretty close number of what I'm going to need. All right, guys, my pain tolerance for the day is up. My head's pounding. It is time to go in, but I really am glad that I stayed out here and got a lot done. I think tomorrow, based on how this headache is going, I will just be here again. I think we will work on the houseplant project. Getting all of those plants tended to. A lot of them need to be groomed. They need to be fertilized. Some of them need new soil, and then some of them need to be bumped up into bigger pots. And so that's a pretty big project. So I'll tackle that tomorrow. And if it's warm, I think it's gonna be colder tomorrow than it was today. But I need to wash. Like all of these are the 6-packs that I used today, and then this giant disaster out here. All of these need to be washed and sanitized so that I can have them ready when it's time to start all the seeds for the flower farm, and next week as well with all the tomatoes and everything, because I do start all of those in soil blocks, so I need all that stuff clean and ready to go. So it's going to be a sunny day, but I just don't know how warm it's going to be. I'm going to wash them back over there where we have a hose and a spigot, and then they can lay in the sun in the side yard to dry. So hopefully we'll have a little bit warm weather, at least during that part of the day. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.